Hey guys, thank you for joining me today. Happy New Year to all of you. Welcome to my channel. I thought what better way to kick things off than with a Best of Beauty 2017 video. I love watching these videos because you know if something makes it into these videos, it's bound to be good. So I'm excited to share with you guys my very favorite products of the year, the things I've really been loving and using. I put all of these things on my face today and I'm going to talk you through kind of why I picked these and what I love about all of these things. I have everything from somewhat high-end to the lowest of cheapest of low-end products that I just really love. So let's get right into it. So we're going to go in the order of kind of how I apply things on my face. And the first thing I want to mention is a foundation. Now I generally skip primer unless it's like a special occasion. I really want my makeup to last extra long. I usually just go straight in with my foundation on my clean moisturized skin. And the foundation that I really love, and part of the reason I feel like I don't need a primer, is because of this beauty. This is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I have it in the illumination version. I have tried both versions and I love them both. This stuff is absolutely amazing. Every time I wear this on my skin, I just feel like my skin just looks healthy. If you are someone that has a drier skin texture, or if your skin is maybe aging a little bit, which mine definitely is, there's a lot of things I put on my face that no, let me put that the other way. There are very few things that I put on my face that make me feel young. So this is one of them, and who doesn't want that, right? No, I don't use this every single day, but if I have like somewhat of a special occasion or I just want to look nice, maybe a night out or something, this is the one that I always reach for because I know it will always look good. It lasts really well on my skin and it never lets me down. I didn't include a face primer, but I do have an eye primer. I actually usually will go in with my eye primer very next. And this is by Wet n Wild. This is the Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer. This stuff is fantastic. If you have ever tried the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, this is basically identical. It has the same type of texture, the same color, the same kind of semi-tacky feel on the lid. Does a great job if you have eyelids that are very oily or eyeshadow creases easily on you, or if you have hooded eyes, which is what I have, so I get a lot of transfer from like my eyeliner up to my brow bone. This stuff helps with all of those pesky problems. So really great stuff, very inexpensive, very easily available at most drugstores. Highly recommend this. So the next thing I want to mention is a concealer. It is the Tarte Shape Tape, which I'm sure you guys have heard about, but I actually don't use this as a concealer. I use this as kind of a second primer for my eyelids. I have a lot of veining in my eyelids and discoloration, and this works really well to cancel all of that out and make a really good, like, clean base to put my eyeshadow on. Even if I'm not wearing any eyeshadow, this just makes my eyelids look just very milky and beautiful. Again, I don't wear this under my eye because, well, one, it's the wrong shade. This is in the color Fair, which is far too light for me, but also, I find this to be a little bit drying under the eye for me, and I have extremely dry under eyes. So I am very cautious about what I put under my eyes. But if you happen to pick this up and you didn't love it as an under eye concealer or just in general as a concealer, or if you have the wrong shade and you never took it back, which is kind of what happened to me, try it out as an eyeshadow base because it really does work well. I definitely don't use it every single day, but if I really want my eyes to kind of stand out or my eyeshadows to stand out, I will use that underneath and it does a fantastic job. The next thing I want to mention is something that I almost never hear anyone talking about on YouTube. And as I was going through my drawers of eyeshadow palettes, I kind of saw the ones that I like or I love, maybe some of the more high-end ones that I really love that lots of people talk about, but if I'm honest with myself, this is the one that I reach for almost on a daily basis, and that is the Coastal Scents Hot Pot eyeshadows. Now these you buy individually from Coastal Scents, which is basically just another brand. If you've heard of BH Cosmetics or Morphe, which I'm sure a lot of you have, all of you probably have heard of. This is kind of another brand like that. They were talked about a long time ago, and then I just haven't, people stopped talking about them. I don't know, in fact, I should check. Maybe they're not even in business anymore. I've actually had this palette for quite a while. In fact, it's not new to me this year. I think I've had this for about 2 years now. But this is kind of a custom palette that I put together. And the reason that I like this palette, one, I think it's because I did customize it and put it together myself. I have 2 or 3 of these that I kind of took the best out of my favorite colors that I use often and put them all into one. So I have all my favorite shadows in one place. But let's talk a little bit about just the quality of these eyeshadows. They really are fantastic. And I mean, I definitely have to mention the price point. You can get these on sale. I think they often go on sale for 99 cents a piece. I think they're normally $1.99. If you can pick these up for 99 cents, that is just outstanding of a deal. I mean, I love Morphe shadows. I love BH Cosmetics. I mean, even Wet n Wild's, ColourPop eyeshadows are all really affordable. Makeup Geek. Honestly, even MAC nowadays is pretty affordable, but nothing beats 99 cents. I mean, you could buy 5 of these for the price of one Makeup Geek eyeshadow, which is just outstanding to me. So if you are on a budget, or if you want to maybe expand your shade range, or just really kind of get started into makeup artistry, or just build your collection or your kit, this is a great place to go because they have fantastic quality eyeshadows. Their mattes are really great and pigmented, blendable, really fantastic color selection, but also their shimmers are really beautiful. They have a very buttery texture. They remind me a lot of some of my higher end shadows, but I think I get so much joy out of using these because they were so affordable. Let's be honest, I love a good deal, and I think that if you love a good deal as well, definitely check these out. Don't overlook these because they are fantastic. So sticking with eyes, the next thing I want to mention is by far the most inexpensive product that I have here, but also probably the most used, and it is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Kohl Eyeliner Pencil in Simma Brown now. That is an embarrassing name to say, but it's basically just their standard cheap brown pencil. Nothing fancy about it. This is not like a waterproof liner, but I love this thing. And the reason that I love it, one is the price. It's, I think, 99 cents. I mean, you cannot beat the price. 2 is it's very sharp and friendly, which sounds kind of strange, but as much as I do love a pencil that's like a long, like the Milani long wearing one, or what other ones have I tried? Like the Rimmel long wearing ones. I feel like to sharpen those, I have to sharpen away like a third of the pencil just to get it to a point where I can use, because the product inside is a little bit too creamy for my liking. It's a little too gel-like. This has a little bit more stiffness to it, but it's definitely still very pigmented. But I also love the color. I just absolutely love a brown liner, but it's got to be like a rich, pigmented, like nice chocolatey brown. And this is exactly that. The only thing I will say negatively about this pencil is the lid. This lid, when I get it, it's nice and snug, but after, I don't know if the plastic stretches out somehow, or maybe the pencil kind of like wears in a little bit. After a while, this lid just will not stay on. So it's definitely not very travel friendly, although I will say I have one of these in my car, I have one in my purse, I have one in my upstairs bathroom, I have one down here in my makeup area. I mean, I have these things everywhere because I can't live without them. But if you can handle a lid that's going to fall off constantly, definitely not one I could just throw in my purse because it's going to get all over everything. Has happened multiple times. But the product itself is fantastic. I love this. Next thing is mascara. I have a couple mascaras that I really like or love, but the one that I think I've repurchased the most and I really enjoy using the most is the Maybelline Lash Sensational. What I love most about this, I think, is just the inky blackness of it. I mean, I have like the original, voluminous black, which I do enjoy and I like, is even the carbon black version. It's very black, but I almost feel like it has like a dusty blackness just in the way that it dries down. It's definitely more of like a feathery, kind of fluffy eyelash type of mascara. This stuff dries down to be like, it almost looks like your eyelashes are plastic. That sounds very offensive, but I mean that in the best way, as in like they're just so dark. Like it just makes your eyelashes so dark. It curls them so perfectly. It separates really well, and it adds a lot of length and volume, which those are like all the check boxes that I need for mascara. So moving down from the eyes, next up is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. I have it in the neutralizer shade. This is just the perfect tone for my skin. It's just very slightly yellow based, but very brightening. So I can use it under my eyes, but I can also use it on blemishes on my face in the winter because it is quite fair. But all year long, I can use this under my eyes. And it's such a nice concealer because it just feels weightless. I mean, you cannot feel this at all on your skin, which I really appreciate in a concealer because I have very, very dry under eyes. Did I already mention that in this video? I might have. But I but I'm very finicky about what I put under my eyes. I want things that are not going to accentuate any fine lines or make me look aged in any way, and this definitely does that for me. Next thing I really love this year, and I've repurchased several of these, and kind of the same situation with the brown eyeliner. I have these all over the place because I don't want to be caught without my eyebrows done, and that is just the e.l.f. brow pencil in the color taupe. This thing is, I think, $2 and just does a very quick, easy job of your brows. I'm wearing it in my brows today, which I'm not sure my brows. I'm not like a brow whiz. I'm definitely not like great at doing my brows, but I have come over the last several years to appreciate the importance of doing your brows. Like, it makes such a big difference. And I'm still learning, but this is just a quick, like, easy, quick brow product that you don't have to fuss with much. It's just the perfect color, it's the perfect consistency. It's not too stiff and not too soft. It's just the perfect texture that makes it really easy and quick to work with, which I really, really love. So the next thing I want to mention is actually just a trial size, and I cannot believe that I still have not run out of this stuff, and it is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. Now, I will say I don't use this under my eyes for same reasons I've mentioned a few times in this video, because my under eyes are very, very dry. I find this to be just a little bit drying. Occasionally, if I have really heavy dark circles, I'll use a tiny bit of it just right there, kind of right before the real trouble area starts. Like right here, I'll pop a little bit of it just to take away a little bit of that blueness, which definitely helps. But what I find that I love this most for is for concealing blemishes. So I will definitely be repurchasing the full size of this when I do run out, because love it. I think it works amazingly well. The next thing I want to mention is a bronzer. This is definitely my favorite and most used bronzer of the year. It is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. I have it in the medium deep shade. So I really love this because I find that I can really build it up. It's very like densely pressed into the pan, so you do not get a lot of powdery kick up or too much product on your brush when you go into this, which I really love because I think it makes it much easier to apply. I like bronzers that I can apply in like a couple layers. I'm wearing this on my cheeks today, which I feel like you can't see it because my lights are so bright, but I really love this. It's the perfect shade for, like, works as a bronzer but also works as a contour kind of. I just love it. The smell is amazing. It doesn't break me out. Okay, we're getting down to the end, last like 4 products. So the next thing I want to mention is my favorite blush of the year. This is by far, I think, the most used blush of the year, and I just discovered it this year as well. It's definitely not a new blush by any means. In fact, this is like pre-YouTube days old of a blush, and it is the MAC blush in the color Melba. This stuff is just absolutely stunning. I mean, it's just kind of a dusty, like dirty peachy pink color is how I would explain it. It's matte, it's very buildable. I love matte blushes because they are very buildable. I love a blush that's not overly pigmented, because I find if they're too pigmented, I have to go in with too light of a hand, and then I find they don't stay on my cheeks because there's probably so little product on there. I like one that I kind of build up in layers because I feel like it stays on my cheeks and kind of like sinks and melts into my skin and looks like it's a part of my cheeks that may totally be in my head, but that's how I feel about this blush and most matte blushes in general. I just love the shade. It's just the perfect, if you don't want to think about like what shade of blush is going to match my lips or going to match my eyes or going to match my outfit, pick this one because it will always look natural and beautiful and perfect. The next thing I want to mention is a highlighter, and this has also been talked about to death here on YouTube, and it is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. I love this thing. It is magical. I have to say, I am very, I don't know if high maintenance is the word, but I feel like I'm very picky about highlighters. I love the look of highlighters on other people, but because of the skin issues I have, I mean, generally my age, I mean, let's be honest, because I have a lot of fine lines up here, I have texture here, I have, well, texture isn't, it's basically, I basically just have fine lines here, and I also have age spots, like some sunspots that I have that are just kind of from sun damage, some are from pregnancy, and that just haven't faded all the way. So highlighters, they have to be really special to do just the right thing, because a lot of highlighters I feel like will just sit on top of skin and like draw attention to my lines or to my sunspots right there, which obviously I do not want to draw attention to my fine lines or my sunspots. So this highlighter, there's just something very magical about it, and because it is so, it's definitely a very more subtle, like everyday highlighter, but you can definitely build this up, and I feel like I can even build this up and it doesn't emphasize texture the way so many highlighters I have tried does. It just really is fantastic. It's easy to use, it's buildable, which if you're seeing a theme here, I love powder products that are very buildable. It just kind of melts into your skin. It's the perfect color, I think, and honestly I think this color would probably work for anyone that's light to medium. It's just got the perfect champagne-y, slightly gold color that is just so flattering. I absolutely love it. Obviously the price is also a bonus. So I have one more honorable mention, and it is the Laura Geller Baked Blush and Brighten in the color Honeysuckle. This stuff, I mean, just look at that. Isn't that just so pretty? It's very pretty. So the reason that I love this stuff, and I actually have reached for this quite a bit, and I generally reach for this when I want a triple duty product. So this basically I find works as my blush, my bronzer, and my highlight all in one, which you may wonder why I don't use it every single day, because who doesn't want a quicker product? But I mean, I love makeup, so I like trying other things too, but this really is fantastic. It has that, when you swirl everything together, you can see it has kind of the bronzy color swirled in here, but then that pink veining in it, which is quite iridescent is what I would call it. It's quite shimmery, but in like a good shimmery way. It just looks so beautiful on the cheeks. It just gives you kind of a glowy, healthy, bronzy with a touch of pink look that just looks very flattering on your cheeks. I just really think this is a fantastic product. I'm really interested to try more of her Baked Blush and Brighten shades. I know there's quite a few shades, and it also makes me curious to try some of her highlights. Last product of the year. This one I love so much that I actually bought a backup of it long before I even used up my first one, because I am so afraid of it being limited edition. This is by L'Oreal, actually. This is in Jennifer's Nude. It's $370. I think it's Jennifer is in J.Lo. They have the whole range of like with Eva Longoria and J.Lo and Julianne Moore. I can't remember who the celebrities are, but I love this lipstick. I absolutely love it. It just looks so flattering on the lips. So I've heard a lot of people talk about L'Oreal lipsticks and how they can't stand the scent of their lipsticks. I actually really like the L'Oreal lipstick scent. I mean, it definitely has a very unique scent, but I think the reason that I like it, because I think my grandma used to wear a L'Oreal lipstick, and the smell reminds me of my grandma. So it almost has a sentimental quality about it that I really like. But once I have it on my lips, I can't smell it anymore. I only can smell it when I'm applying it. But the thing I love most about this lipstick in particular are two things. The finish of it is the most rich, creamy finish. It just feels so comfortable on the lips, but it gives you like good color. I love a lipstick that's so creamy that it almost gives your lips a volume. Does that make sense to anyone? This is exactly that. But most of all, I just love the shade. I think for a nude color, this is the most perfect nude for me ever. I am definitely a big fan of a pink undertone to my nude lipsticks. I think just with my skin tone, with my hair color, it just looks really flattering on me. So I definitely recommend this one. Pick it up if you see it, because again, I don't know how long these collection exclusive lipsticks will be around. So that is it. Those are my favorite products of the year. These are the things I really have just reached for over and over and over again and enjoyed using every single time. They've never failed me. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these products. Let me know what your thoughts were below, or if you have any recommendations or favorite products you want to share. I would love to hear from you guys. Please leave a comment below. Most importantly, please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic 2018, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. And I think I was out of focus that whole time. Dang it. Okay, so I have one more honorable. So this past year, I really